Hello and welcome to the Kelly Effect, my newly branded, formerly existing podcast. Now, it's had a couple of names in the past, none of them really sang to me before. And so today I am doing my first rebranded episode with my new name, The Kelly Effect. The point of the Kelly Effect is giving a speech that leaves a mark. And I don't mean like a mark, I mean like a mark on the heart, on the mind, a speech that really changes someone fundamentally from that day forward. That's leaving a mark. That's the Kelly effect. When you can show up unfiltered, unapologetic, and unforgettable. With my new direction, I'm very excited to start doing evaluations of famous speeches that I found online where people either show the skills and the magic of the Kelly effect, or they really don't. So you can see the difference between really connecting with your audience and really not. And I'm going to show you examples of the Kelly effect and examples of not the Kelly effect. And today we're going to start with Simon Sinek. You guys, he's such a good speaker. He is so articulate. He is so passionate. He is so knowledgeable. I love to watch him speak. And in this clip, it's only about 2 minutes long. I don't know what is wrong with him. I guess he's having a bad day because he does some odd things. If he were in a Toastmasters meeting and he gave this speech, he would get a lot of feedback. That was not great. So I'm going to play the recording and I stop in between and point things out and explain them to you. And I'm excited to do this. So welcome to the first rebranded episode of my podcast, The Kelly Effect. And today we are looking at a Simon Sinek speech.
So I've worked with the Navy SEALs.
All right, two things. First, I think that so was probably extraneous. And I should know I'm the queen of so. I said so 36 times in 6 minutes during my first recorded speech, which means so was probably my favorite word, but I think there it was unnecessary. And then he had a double clutch. And in Toastmasters world, a double clutch is where you start saying something and then you stop yourself and you go back and you say it again, either the same or differently, or you completely change topics. Basically, you cut yourself off and then say something different or the same thing again for no reason. All right, let's hit play.
And I asked them, like, how do you pick like the guys that go on SEAL Team
There he did it again, second double clutch.
6, right? Because they're the best, the best, the best, the best. And they drew a graph for me, and on one side
they drew a graph for me, so he did it a third time there.
They wrote the word performance.
There's another one, but he changed words. They wrote the word performance, so that's his fourth double clutch.
And on the other side, they wrote the word.
And then he started to say instead of they wrote the word, he started to say they word the word, but he stopped himself and fixed it.
Trust. The way they define the terms is performance on the battlefield and performance off the battlefield. So this is your skills.
He just used the wrong form of speech there. He said, this is your skills. Skills is plural, so he should have said, these are your skills, which shows that this is not a memorized part of his speech. He's obviously ad-libbing here because he didn't know ahead of time that he was going to say skills, or he would have used the plural form instead of the singular form before he got to it.
Make your quarterly earnings, however you want to translate it, right? Performance, it's traditional. This is, how are you off the battlefield? What kind of person are you? The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money and my wife? They're SEALs.
That was a good joke. Obviously, everybody's laughing.
This is what they told me. Nobody wants this person, the low performer of low trust, of course. Of course, everybody wants this person, the high performer.
Now notice here, he's talking to the notepad. In general, it's not a good idea to turn around with your back to the audience and talk to something behind you. They can't see your facial expressions. If you're using a regular microphone, usually you're not holding it correctly when you turn around. He's got a cheek mic, so they can still hear him fine, but they can't see him because he's talking to the whiteboard or the notepad. So, in general, I don't recommend that, but he did it a few times on this one.
Performer of high trust, of course. What they learned is that this person, the high performer of low trust, is a toxic leader and a toxic team member.
Okay, notice the complete shift in his energy. He completely shifted his energy. He got aggressive for a second. It was really cool. If you watch his body language, he turned forward, he squared his shoulders, and he kind of leaned them forward like he was slightly in an attack stance because he was saying something kind of aggressive. They're toxic team members and toxic leaders. That was really interesting, his energy shift. Go back and watch that again if you missed it.
And they would rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer.
See, this is a really long stretch where he's talking to the whiteboard, which is kind of off for him, I think. I don't think I've seen him speak to the whiteboard before, but maybe it's a normal thing with him.
Of high trust, it's a relative scale, over this person. This is the highest performing organization on the planet.
Now, normally the conventional wisdom is don't point at your audience. How does it feel to you? Did it feel aggressive? Did it feel weird? Did it make you feel uncomfortable? Usually it's because it makes the audience feel judged in some way. So normally we don't point at the audience. So I thought that was an interesting choice there.
And this person is more important than this person. And the problem in business is we have lopsided metrics. We have 1,000,001 metrics to measure someone's performance and negligible to no metrics to measure.
Okay, did you see how passionate he got in that moment? He got so excited and passionate about that topic that all of his neck tendons stuck out because he was really excited about that point he was making, and he really had some emotion about it.
Someone's trustworthiness. And so what we end up doing is promoting or bonusing toxicity in our businesses, which is bad for the long game because it eventually destroys the whole organization. The irony is it's unbelievably easy to find these people. Go to any team and say, who's the asshole? And they'll...
That was a great line. That was hilarious.
They will all point to the same person. Equally, if you go to any team and say, who do you trust more than anybody else? Who's always got your back? And when the chips are down, they will be there.
He was having some pointing moments, but this time he was actually talking with the audience. And so he did this, the thing where they bend their finger like politicians. And then he went like this, and he had his hand flat like this, which is how you normally point when you're on stage. You do the bent finger or you do the open hand. So I find it interesting that he chose earlier to actually point with his finger. I don't know if he thought it out or if it just happened and he wasn't thinking about it or what.
With you, they will also all point to the same person. It's the best gifted natural leader who's creating an environment for.
Okay, there he's back to pointing. I'm not sure what his stance on pointing is now.
Everybody else to succeed, and they may not be your most individual highest performer. But
there you go. You saw double clutches. You saw the word so being used unnecessarily. You saw the speaker speaking to the notepad instead of to the audience, and random pointing. Now, I'm not sure what was happening here. I have not seen this whole speech. Normally, Simon Sinek is very articulate, like amazingly articulate. But in this video, he felt a little bit flustered. I don't know why. I didn't see the whole thing, so I don't know if the whole speech was flustered or if just in that moment something happened to get him flustered. But normally he is very calm and collected, passionate and controlled. So I am a little fascinated by this point in his speech where he just kind of loses control and forgets all the rules. But guess what? You don't have to follow the rules all the time. It makes him more human. It makes him more relatable. It shows that he is very excited and passionate about his topic. And so is it bad? Not necessarily. If people notice it and are distracted by it, it could be a negative. But if people don't notice the little things like that and just feel your passion, feel your realness and your authenticity, then it's not a bad thing. It's you connecting with the audience, which, as you know, is the Kelly effect. The Kelly effect is when you, as a speaker, are unfiltered, unapologetic, and unforgettable. And I think we can all agree that Simon Sinek is a master of the Kelly effect. All right, that's it for this episode. I will see you guys next time on The Kelly Effect.